from that. Yeah.
We're all pulling our chairs together. You're all right. But yeah, you were saying that it's kind of like a lifetime for the kids. And I don't know whether it was already something you were doing before the kids arrived, or whether it was because you felt, well, we could do something here because we all have a voice, or how it actually began.
My background is all in choir training, and piano music and teaching and stuff. And like I've had, when I came back to work, and this is Yvonne, by the way.
Oh, hi Yvonne. How are you? Nice to meet you. How are you? All right. Yeah.
When I came back from, I studied in Trinity College first, and then I went to Paris for 2 years to study piano. I came back to a job in St. Killian's in Bray in the community school.
Right.
And as soon as I was back, because I'd been involved in a little bit of choir training while I was in college, I said I need to set up a choir.
Right.
So I set up Bray Choral Society in 1986.
Wow.
That's 30 something years ago now.
Right.
And I've always been in that area. And just when I was also an organist in a church in Sallynoggin for 22 years. And all the time when they came along, I was there and involved in that. And we used to start with them singing at Christmas Eve in the church, little one at 4 years of age stood her up on a table in front of the church, and she sang away in a manger, that kind of thing. And they all did it in their turn, so there was always, singing was always kind of part of what we were.
They must have been frightening. I know they can all sing, but it must have been frightening to think at some point maybe one of them's going to be crap. What do we do with the one who can't sing? We hide that dead wood in amongst all the harmonies. Just let them.
Well, it's interesting you say that. It's interesting you say that because Rebecca always had a very solid voice. Orla had a solid voice. When Emily was very small, she had a very wayward voice.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you did. Yeah, it was quite wayward, but we persevered.
You could have ended up in rock.
And we used to say everything was great, and we just kept doing it, and you kept doing it, and she never knew anything about it being wayward.
Right.
But look at when you listen to it now, it's gorgeous because it's just developed. And John was always he's always a
singer.
Well done, John. No wayward nonsense with you. You're going to have a stutter now from now on. You'll start to think about this on stage. But I know that the family thing is fascinating to me because I wouldn't know so much in the classical world, but certainly within the popular music world, you think of the Jacksons, like Joe Jackson was a hard taskmaster, and with the Wilsons, Murray Wilson was notoriously a hard taskmaster. You would think it's a wonderful thing that it's having, the family would be just bonded in so many ways beyond the music. But was it? I don't know if any of you kind of even had second thoughts about, do I want to join the family business? Was it ever a kind of no. Ah, okay.
I guess automatic.
Right. Yeah. So it was always a love. I mean, because obviously music is so kind of rich and beautiful to have in your life, but there's a million different ways to perform. So this kind of outfit was always in your mind. I've nephews who are in Irish music. They go off and do other things. Yeah. But okay. Yeah. And that's not because he's in the room, all right? You all get
No, but we do a wide variety of stuff. It keeps it nice and interesting.
Right.
But, I mean, another sign of it is these three girls are all now finished university doing music.
Ah, fantastic.
Orla did media as well in university, but Rebecca did pure music, or Emily did pure music, just finished this year. And John is planning at the moment anyway to go in and do music performance.
Yeah, I just finished doing a film degree.
Right.
And I'm going to do a music degree in DIT at the minute, where I have a place in DIT for this September.
And would there be a kind of a particular goal in mind? Because obviously there is, this is a certain kind of career that your father has. I don't know if you all would like to be in that area, or whether you've got other ideas of I'd like to be in particular styles of music or certain areas, or.
Well, do I go first? Oh no, I just want to say that as well as the classical music, I'd be very much into jazz.
Right.
And I love singing jazz music and being a part of the jazz scene like that. So.
Jazz is cooler, as you know. Just so you know.
Well, it's something that I've kind of had a love for a good number of years now at this stage, and I'd love to kind of maybe go somewhere with that as well. But I would never put that ahead of the family.
Because it is all the same.
Jazz. We do vocal
jazz as part of the family as well.
Yeah.
Traditional Irish music and
Emily's
popular music.
Irish music.
Like for example, I love doing the classical music and the jazz music with the family, but my degree was actually in Irish music and dance, and I majored in the harp as my main thing. I did do singing as well, but and piano as well. So yeah, I love traditional music, but again, it's
If you could become very weird, you might sort of get into the Enya market. So if you could become weird and reclusive, if you just stay in your room for the rest of your life, maybe you could do a whole Enya thing. Yeah, that'll work. Only just wave out the window occasionally.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
I don't know if you have a certain kind of feeling of where you'd like to go.
I mean, I've just always enjoyed singing with either solo or with the group. I kind of, the style that I lean more towards is musical theatre, but I don't know whether I'd go into it as like a career, because it's quite like cutthroat and stuff, you know. But like I definitely like we set up a musical theatre group for young kids 2 years ago. We'd love to like start it again. So like even in that kind of respect, because like I was the director, so I kind of like organised.
This girl's a born teacher.
Yeah.
Absolutely born.
And you do tell everybody what to do around here.
Yeah. So I'd love to like reset up that group and do, you know, that as like a kind of an extracurricular activity for kids and stuff like that, because I really enjoyed it. So.
I know you said, John, you want to get into erotic dancing was your main.
That's the main focus, but secondary to that,
right?
That's always kind of taking the cake.
Well, snakes are very expensive. You know, you can't always get the snakes that you want.
It's not really viable.
Yeah. Well, would you have certain ideas or certain?
Well, like I said, I just finished the film course, and I'm very interested in mixing film and music. So I'm interested in looking at film scoring and stuff.
Wow.
Like Rebecca, I'm very into like jazz piano. Rebecca's into jazz generally, but I'm very into kind of jazz piano. So I do piano and singing mostly. Right. So I like learning my big classical piano pieces. I also like learning my Gershwin and my rags and stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm very interested in looking at the area of film scoring and that kind of stuff, like program
He's a
music.
mean whistler as well.
Hey.
Yeah.
Now that Roger Whittaker's gone, you could maybe take over his career.
I mean Tim Whistle, sorry.
All right.
Not quite the same.
Well, Paddy Maloney's not looking great these days. I'm sure the Chieftains will have an opening soon enough. So fingers crossed, Paddy Maloney's gone. And, yeah.
But Shirley, we play
So we should say 3 years in a row you win the Fresh Coal for Family Ensemble, I think was the title.
That was quite
That's
a while
gotta be
ago when they were quite young.
But those sort of things have got to be both sort of a wonderful thrill, but then also you're almost having to live up to your own reputation, and you know that sort of feeling of, oh, we've done this 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I think the third year we were all going in going, oh, I really hope we go second, because that looked really bad.
I think the third year you got 98 or something like that.
And then after that we were just like, no, we're not going to go.
Just
in case we don't
take a break. Take a break.
You were deliberately bad. You're like the Irish in Eurovision. We just went deliberately bad just to get we don't have to pay for this thing again and be all that pressure. So you played the national concert hall. You played all over the country, really. I mean, is it? I don't know whether you guys have sort of, you sit down and make a plan about this is where we would like to get to, or whether it's just this organic thing of every day is.
Over the years, it has been organic. It has grown. Right. I mean, what we started off with was, let's pick some songs that we like singing, and it started off with just, when John was a treble, it was just 2-part. Basically upper voice stuff and a little bit of harmony here, and we did all sorts of styles. You know, there was no selection, just what we liked. You know, and then as they got older and they got more musically able, and they're very musically able, we started taking on more challenging things, and we said, well, we'd like to do classical, and we'd like to do kind of classical crossover, and we'd like to do jazz. And then we began to say, well, you know, we actually like performing. We all enjoy performing, so we started doing kind of charity concerts in the local area. After we did the competitions in Fresh Coal, we got to take part in the prize winners concert in the concert hall. Right. You know, all that kind of stuff gives you the bug, really. You know, bitten with the bug, and talking to people. You know, we get such a response from people when we do perform. We used to do some of these concerts where the American choirs were brought over to Bray or Greystones, and they'd be looking for an Irish group to share the concert with. Nice. We did quite a number of those, and you know, as that happens, your ambition becomes a little bit more as well. It grows, and you know, we felt. I mean, I personally feel we're very like an Irish version of, say, the Willis Clan. You know, the American Willis Clan, which is there's about 12 kids or something in it, and they all play. Now they play more in kind of folk and they also are Irish dancers, as all of these are, and they've made it very, very big in America, and they have Irish roots, and I kind of feel, you know, the Americans would love the family. Now, whatever about me, I'll come into that. They'd love the 4 of them, you know, 4 siblings, and with all of the skills that they have in vocal skills and singing, harmony, instrumental playing, you know, all the instruments that they're involved in, the Americans would love it. And we would just love to have somebody who would say, I'll back you to go over to America and try and do something.
I think John's erotic dancing would be an angle. Kind of a way to introduce the crowd. It'd be a novelty kind of side thing. Just the side. Yeah, we can mix river dance with a snake. It'll be.
Or we could do Emily's an aerial dancers. We could stick her in as well.
There you
go. Spin her from the ceiling there. It'd be grand.
So, but yeah, you know, we do have ambitions for stuff like that.
Right.
And it would be lovely to do something in Ireland, kind of, you know, we kind of think we're kind of classical crossover.
Right.
We do a lot of classical stuff. We do a lot of, like we would do kind of classic arrangements of popular music.
Right.
We do vocal jazz. Yeah, exactly.
Classic harmony.
And you know, we do feel that there's probably a market. It's how to break into it and how to get backing.
And even given the new name, I know that for a while there you were something like the Amazing Colossal Kelly Family.
Not amazing. Not amazing.
But then you went with Classic Harmony, which is again, I guess, maybe a recognition on your own part that, you know, that little sort of an easy name, and it sort of gives you an idea of what you're doing, and that is, I don't know, that was very recent. It seemed like you know, you've got a mission.
2 years ago.
Okay.
2 years ago now.
2 years ago.
Okay.
It is 2 years. Oh my God, it's flown by. 2016. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it would seem, you know, I'm always in that sort of Ray Charles mind that music is just, it's either got soul or it hasn't. It's either, you know, it doesn't really matter what the genre is. So that kind of potential for, as you say, American market and beyond, would you see the internet as the kind of way into that, or would you kind of consider going over there to shake hands and kiss babies?
Well,
shake hands and kiss babies.
Or shake babies and I think over there to shake babies and kiss hands. I think that's how it works.
It's a weird custom over there.
It's an American tradition.
Yeah, it is.
But like for like you're saying about the internet, like I'm finished my degree at the moment. Next year I'm taking the year out. I'm hoping to become kind of the promoter of the group.
Right.
And the way that I have a few ideas for doing it, and the way I'd like to do it is to have us putting up kind of popular or classical arrangements of pop songs that people would really know. Because like this year I got really into, especially this year, I got really into arranging music.
Right.
Following my dad, of course. So I'd like to see if I can, you know, pick up a song that's really popular at the time and get us to record and arrange a version of it and put it up and see if we get, because like a lot of artists did that.
That's usually the spark, alright.
Yeah, like Greystones did he was 12 when he did this, and he was an American singer, and he put up a version of Poker Face that he did in his school town concert on the piano. And Justin Bieber did the same thing. Like a whole lot of people, like, people see it because those things. We
won't mention that. That's not an example. We're not.
I can't think of any other.
We're not
But so that's kind of the idea. I think that it's a way of getting noticed, because since we do classical music and jazz music, you know, I mean, people can say, oh yeah, like there's loads of groups like that.
An audience.
But you know, we need something that kind of, you know, makes people notice us, and then
a wider audience.
Gets you on the
and then we can narrow it down after that.
Well, there is that sort of wonderful thing that, I mean, I grew up in an era where, you know, if you to hear a song was either on top of the pops or just, you know, it was sort of was given to you almost. But now it's just it's out there all the time, and people just a fire starts and you never know exactly how it started, but then it becomes purely its own engine. So I think there's definitely a lot of logic to that, because that is that kind of beauty of finding little gems and people just sort of share them. And
it's funny how many people can see a certain clip, be like, oh yeah, did you see that clip? And then everyone's like, oh yeah, I saw it on Facebook, I saw it on YouTube as an ad.
Make sure it gets shared.
Now we should just wrap up by saying what people might expect. I know that you've said really, I guess already, you do classical, you do Celtic traditional, you do jazz, you do pop. So it is a kind of a great big melting pot of music that you'll be bringing to the Whale on. It's the 6th of June, I think. 16th. Very good. Well done. You all know. You have them well trained.
And we do have Alan Smale as a guest artist as well, and he's a wonderful violinist.
Sure. Yeah, he's played a few times there. Great.
And he's well known in Greystones, living in Greystones as he does now.
Great looking guy too. I think the bald head thing is really coming in. I think it's just a look really for this year. Just so you know, in case you're thinking So we'll look forward to the gig. We'll be down there ourselves, and we'll catch a little bit and let people know. But we'll keep in touch too as time goes on. And certainly when you've recorded that, we'll share it again and kind of get out there so we can try and get 10% of your earnings. We'll negotiate that once we switched off the camera. Yeah, that'll be great.